Yeah, that's a lot of questions in one. Well, I think every player was a little bit different this summer. I think we told the players to do what they needed for their particular situation. So some of the players went out and played a lot over the summer and got a lot of experience and minutes, and some of them tried to rest some and anything in between. I think for the coaching staff, it was just try to recharge as quickly as we can. We just talked about the summer just went by really, really fast, and here we are getting after it again. We've got a good veteran group back, and a nice mix of 10 new players. So there's a lot of new and old mixed in, and a little bit of just trying to find ourselves early on. I think one thing that we've seen from the exhibition games is that we're going to be a pretty stingy team defensively. We're going to be hard to score on.
And, kind of going off of that, how much does that help, or how much improvement have you seen kind of defensively? I know you say it's an 11-person effort, but last year that seemed like it was kind of your bread and butter too. How much have you kind of seen that improve this year already?
Well, it's going to have to improve because we lost a high output attacking player in Amber Barnett who's going to be out this season. So, I mean, we really are going to have to hang our hat on being a really stingy team defensively. I think, we're going to score some goals, but, we're not going to be in a whole lot of 4-3 games. Our games are going to be 1-0, 2-1, those kinds of games. And so we're going to have to be really, really proud and stingy defensively to be successful.
You mentioned bringing in 10 new players. I know it's a really interesting dynamic across all the sports this year. You got like the football team, basically all their new players are transfers, and you've got a team like volleyball who brings back every single player from a year ago. How different has it been this year in still bringing in a relatively large class and then trying to integrate those new players with the shortened offseason?
Well, first of all, I think the freshman class has really impressed us. I think they've impressed the returning players as well as the coaching staff, and at this point, I think have exceeded the expectations that we had for them. I think when we step on the field on Thursday, you'll probably see it. Several freshmen get quality time in the match, and then the new players that have come in, we've brought in 2 grad transfers, in Alexis Bach from Arkansas, and then Mackenzie Crittenberger from North Carolina State, whose older brother plays on the baseball team here. And what I like about them is not just their personalities and the quality of their play, but the kind of people they are and the kind of investment that they're making in our program. I think it's really you recruit grad transfers with caution because there's some grad transfers out there that just want to get grad school paid for. And there's some that are going to be really engaging and really invest in your program. And the 2 that we've brought in so far have really shown that they're really willing to invest in our program and our team and in their teammates. And that's been pretty remarkable to me. I mean, the other day, I saw Mackenzie, who's 23 years old, just chatting up with one of the freshmen for probably a half hour. She doesn't have to do that, but that's who she is. That's who she wants to be. That's the part of the team that she wants to be. So the new players have really, really invested and have really been an integral part of the program already.
Last year we talked a lot about that year's freshman class and getting a whole half a season or a semester, I should say, to get into the swing of things that you don't normally have. Now that you're back on your normal cycle, what has it been like getting those freshmen back into things, and what have you seen?
Well, and this goes for our whole team, but right now we've had probably 10 practices. We've played 2 exhibition games. We have 10 practices. So we're good at a lot of things, but we're not great at anything. That's the nature of the beast. We've gotten in practice to work on a little sampling of everything, but not enough of anything. So now we get to go back and try to fine-tune things and work on details. But I think for the whole, not just for the freshmen, but for the whole team, I think we're still, figuring out who we're going to be for the season. That's probably going to take another 2, 3, even 4 weeks before we head into conference play.
One thing we talked a lot about last year as the season was just starting up was, number 1, how long it took to finally get a home match last season, and then number 2, how quickly the conference schedule arrived. This season, total flip-flop of that. You start the regular season, 4 straight matches scheduled at home, and then a more regular time period to get ready for the conference slate. I guess, how does it feel to be back closer to a normal schedule compared to what you had last season?
Feels really good. It feels really good, and not just the aberration of the spring official season, but we've been talking about this with the team a lot. But our junior class has never had a traditional spring season. And so the early part of preseason and even the early part of this season, we're experimenting with a lot of things that we haven't had a chance to do over the last couple of years. Some position changes, some formation and shape changes that we haven't done. I mean, yesterday I made the team start in a system that we've never played before, that we've never even practiced, and just threw it at them just to see how they would handle it and respond. And so we're doing a lot of those things early on in the season, just because not just last year was different, but the last couple years have been different.
Coach, you mentioned Amber before. I know she's still on the roster, but is she still with you guys, like, around the team? And I guess how is her recovery coming, even though you don't expect her this fall?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Her recovery's going really, really well. I don't want to speak too much of it. She's completely invested in the team. She's still one of our team captains. She's really, honestly, at this point, another coach from the sidelines and a mentor to the younger players. She's been absolutely fantastic. We also have another young lady, Emily Spidell, was a high school All-American, has been plagued with injuries since she got here, and she's in the same boat as Amber. But those two have been exceptional in what they're bringing to the team off the field.
Last year, around, I guess it would be this point in the season, the beginning of the season, we talked about, how the program was trying to take that next step, and it seemed like it did that. You guys were able to claim that East Division crown. I guess, what are the goals this year, and how do you continue to grow?
Well, new team, new year, but the goals are always the same. We want to be champions and we want to win. The team, the players are invested in that process, and I keep telling them this, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. We don't have to be the best version of ourselves just yet. We got at least a little bit of time to get there, and I think one of the things with losing a player like Amber, who brings so much to the team, is just figuring out over the course of the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, like what our team looks like and who we really want to be and what we want to what our team identity is going to look like.
No, obviously it's a big hole to fill with Amber out, and you've mentioned it being a team effort and kind of filling that offensively, but have there been any names in particular that have stood out in terms of that effort to step up and produce a little more offense?
Well, you'll talk to her in a few minutes. Lily Rumo's been exceptional. She's a sophomore now, and it didn't count on the stat sheet, but got her first goal of her career against UT Martin last week, and she's been really good. She's been really good up front. She just creates a lot of havoc with her movements and her creativity. But she's not the only one. Kayla Meyer is a freshman who's coming in, who we hold in really high esteem and are expecting some good things from. But I think overall, I think that it's going to be we're going to have to score by committee. I don't know that we're going to have anyone score 10 or 15 goals this year, but if we can get 5 or 6 players to each chip in 4 or 5, we'll put ourselves in a good position.
How excited are you to have, obviously we mentioned all these home matches. You've got a couple of marquee ones here. Just the national poll first came out, I guess, some point over this weekend. You got 3 ranked teams in the current top 25 coming here outside.
Man, I didn't even know that. I guess we got Vanderbilt, Rice, and who's the other one? North Texas?
Ole Miss.
No, we don't play North Texas. Ole Miss. All in the top 25?
Yep.
What an opportunity for our kids. That's fantastic.
Hey guys, I'm Jared McDonald. I'm at the Daily News here in town. I guess first question I asked Coach, what was the summer like for you guys, where it was kind of a shortened summer, and what's preseason been like so far?
Having a shortened, being able to go right back into season is always interesting and honestly a little tough, especially for myself playing a lot of minutes. For me this summer, I just wanted to get on the ball as much as possible, maybe not play as many games, but I trained, weekly, and then preseason, it's just the grind, the normal preseason. Nice to have that back a little bit.
Yeah, I guess this is my first year coming back, so I don't really know anything else. I've never had a traditional season, but getting back into it, it's been nice. It was a quick turnaround, but it's been fun. We've been getting after it and played this summer, and now we're back with our team, so it's been nice.
Avery, you've been around for a while, so just how different now? Obviously, you have one season pushed back to the spring rather than the fall, and now you're back with the shortened off season. Just how different have those two been, not just from each other, but obviously what a normal off season would look like between seasons?
Obviously, I've seen everything. I've been a part of it all. Having the spring season was fun, different weather, different, shortened schedule. Everything kind of was tossed at us all at once. And then the traditional off season, we get more time to grow as a team. You know, we're here in July and we get that full month with no coaches, just the team. We live together. And I think that was really missed last year. We didn't get that time, and we weren't even allowed to hang out off the field with all the COVID restrictions. So to have that back this year has been amazing, and we've been able to connect in ways I don't think that we were last year.
You know, to kind of go off of that, with all the pieces that you guys have coming back, obviously Amber's not able to play, but how much do you think that helps, just having that familiarity with one another where it is kind of that shortened off season?
I think it's extremely helpful. I think we're really lucky. Obviously, she's my co-captain, and she will be missed, and her and I will never play together again, so that's a tough pill to swallow. But to have, 10 other players that got quality minutes, and I think we're returning every starter, is a huge jump. But also a lot of other teams in the country are in the same boat with all that COVID stuff. So just finding how we're going to click this year is going to be extremely important.
On that note of, leadership, that you and Lyric have become sort of the veteran center backs like Caitlin and Christina were a couple of years ago, and now you've had this back line that's all together, and you guys are kind of leading that. Given what this team, like Jason was talking about, is kind of defensively oriented, how much pride do you take in really laying it all out there in that role this year for what this team can do?
A lot of pride. I mean, I think we want to keep as many clean sheets as possible, and to be 2-0 unofficially with 2 clean sheets is exciting for us. We're a team that prides ourselves on a stingy defensive effort, and that's going to start with Lyric and I. And to have all 4 of us returning from last year, it's extremely exciting, and hopefully we can encourage the lines in front of us to have that proud and stingy defensive effort that we do.
And then Millie, on the flip side of that, obviously we talked with Coach about how the offense and the attack is going to look different without Amber in there. What have been some of the biggest things that you guys have tried to work on in this offseason to try and fill that void and make it more of a team effort offensively?
Yeah, so I think we've been switching up our formation a little bit in the preseason and putting more people in the midfield to try and make up for having lost Amber. But it's been working really well. We're getting a lot of players going forward, and with just extra people in the midfield, we're filling her space, I would say.
For both of you guys, obviously the program, took another step forward last year and claimed that regular season East Division crown. I guess what do you guys have for goals in mind, and how do you kind of keep growing the program?
I mean, we're here to win. That's exactly that's our number one goal this year, and I think we have a squad to do it. We've had a squad to do it every single year. It just may not have clicked, and I think last year, taking that first step and claiming that East Division title was one of those moments for us that was like, we're here and we're here to play and we're going to compete with anybody. And I mean, to play 3 schools in the top 25 on our home turf is incredible and an amazing opportunity to really see what we're made of.
Yeah, and having, like you said earlier, having all of our starters come back, it's like everyone's has the same mentality, so that's been nice. And we're helping the new players and the freshmen and the transfers also have that mentality, so it's just been a really good community around that.
Lily, you were part of a really strong freshman class last year and have a chance to take the next step as a whole unit this year. How have you seen your game grow over the last couple of months in the off season, and some of your fellow now sophomores as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think freshman year is tough getting into it, and just being able to grow and connect with each other. And like Avery said, we didn't get to do a lot of team bonding last year with COVID restrictions, but this year especially, being able to be so close off the field, we've been growing together as a unit, and I think it's been helping us a lot individually on the field, and so we've been playing very well.
You guys have obviously played with Amber, like you said, big piece missing, so you know what she's like as a player. What's Coach Barnett like now that she's kind of in that role?
She's the exact same as she'd be on the field. I mean, she's an extremely positive person. I've honestly never seen somebody take on this injury like she has. She hasn't looked back. I mean, obviously she was upset initially, but she is a warrior, somebody that I'm really proud to know and be a co-captain with.